So in this episode, we would like to talk with Norelyn about the retreat and our reflection on it. We had retreat on May 17th. So now we have little more than 2 weeks afterwards.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it feels like 2 weeks, which is an interesting concept in itself. Sometimes time passes quickly. Sometimes we enter this sort of vacuum of time. And to think that this was 2 weeks ago is really striking, because a part of me actually feels like if I tap into what it feels like in my body, it feels like it was 1 month ago.
Mm-hmm.
Does it feel like 2 weeks to you, or does it feel somehow longer or shorter?
Yeah, it does feel longer. It does feel more far away. I realize that I very much live um, by the day. Like I live in the day, I live in the present, and my days are very different. There are days when I have my son with me, so I'm in one role. There are days when it's only me and guys, so I'm in a different planet.
And so keeping in the present moment as best as possible, I don't know, that can create two different kind of experiences of time.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I'm always scheduling out, and sometimes I'm have a day with a lot of clients, and sometimes I schedule out empty space in my day because that's important to schedule. If I don't
Mm-hmm.
take that intentionality, then I can go a whole week without having enough reflection in my own personal life. So 2 weeks out from this retreat, I can definitely feel the trickle down effect of the power of that space. And I'm personally attributing this lengthening, this magical lengthening, I'm seeing it as a positive. The fact that 2 weeks feels like 4 is quite magical. The
Yeah,
opposite feels negative, I think. If how would I phrase this? In the opposite is time feels faster, but for time to
right.
feel slower is quite a gift.
Right. So what I would describe, so that in itself is related to the quality of what we have, quality of how we experience time in the moment, what has been created in retreat. Because in retreat, our brains, all our brains, have been really slowing down. We've been taking people to, and the nature around is naturally taking people to attune to the pace of life,
Mm.
of actual nature. And it's very, the trees are still, the butterflies are flying, the wind is coming in. So everything slows down, and our nervous system has been in this state for entire day. So that really changed something. I know anatomically, physiologically, just because of we've been in that for that many hours.
The word that strikes me is recalibration. It
Mm-hmm.
it allowed perhaps our mind, body, spatial, temporal connections to recalibrate itself, because when we're operating in a space where in the present moment you're worrying about 2 hours from now, and you're potentially worrying about multiple possibilities. I was talking with a client the other day about what anxiety and fear is. And you can say that anxiety is energy wasted on something that hasn't even happened. If you're anxious about a public speaking opportunity. You're anxious about maybe making a mistake, but you don't know yet if you're going to make that mistake. So you've wasted this energy on a reality that hasn't happened yet. And so I'm making the connection between if we're not present and we're worrying about 2 hours from now or a week from now, and we're not even experiencing this reality fully, some recalibration needs to take place. And so
Yeah,
this
that's such a,
retreat, go ahead.
yeah, that's an important thing that you said. Do we actually experience the reality that we are in fully? And like, what are we doing? Where are we putting our energy and our attention? So absolutely, it has to, it's almost like the I itself has to go through recalibration, through a serious transformation. It's not just my mindset, my this, my that. It's what you are. It's the way you perceive. Because that I has such already attachment to very deep-seated patterns of rush and do and go, and this is not, and this is not okay, and this like the way, I don't know, I hope I'm transmuting it correctly. It's just something more basic within a human psyche structure than thoughts that I have or beliefs that I have. It's the way we've been wired to think that a certain way of being that is fast, that is anxious, where we constantly, because everyone is like that, right? So we think that this business is, we spoke about it in the previous recording, so it's nice. It's just the right one afterwards.
Yeah, the value we place on busyness and the value we place on being prepared for worst case scenarios that haven't even happened, or being prepared to people please on a degree that sacrifices what we're feeling. So going back to this retreat and feeling and understanding that it was just 2 weeks ago, and how I've been able to, I wore two hats in this space. I wore space holder hat, facilitator hat, and I also was very much a guest, an attendee on my own journey,
Mhm.
because you and I, in partnership for this, you got to experience my offering and I got to experience your offerings and your
Mm,
land and home and
right.
food.
And guy who is cooking. Let's not forget the people who do the silent work
Yes.
that prefer to stay behind the scenes. Yeah.
So I got to really experience both. And in those multitudes, what does my trickle down effect look like? It's feeling like I accomplished something, also feeling like I connected with other women, which is very important. And I also connected with women in nudity, which is powerful.
Mhm.
And I connected with women through witnessing. I witnessed their individual meditation auras, if you will.
Mhm. Yeah, you witness them. What do women, what do different bodies and individuals look like when they share one common attunement to nature, recalibration experience? And still you can see that, how we, someone needs to go to the forest. This is so beautiful about this place that, if some, I could see that some wanted to connect deeper with the nature. They wanted to be more, away from the people and closer to the trees and closer to, go deeper inside the woods, literally, not just
Mhm.
metaphorically. And some of us needed to journal and go more within, and there was creative ideas flowing. And I know, for someone, things were coming up for their book and their stories. So it's, for some, it was catalyst for something, for integration. Mm-hmm.
I love how you're pointing this out. The different needs and desires of all of us all were contained in the same space, but we all had this home base. We were each other's home base. And I remember going stretches of time where we were all very near in the scheme of things, but despite that, there was almost no words spoken in between these sessions. And
Mm-hmm.
a glance at another woman was so powerful. Maybe I was, there's a moment where I came out of the sauna and somebody else was in the hot tub. And in between the sauna and the hot tub is the ice, the individual sized ice plunge, cold plunge.
Mm-hmm. Cold punch. Mm-hmm.
Cold plunge, yeah. And
The
so
well
I,
water, there was no ice, but there was a water from underground well that we have on the property. Yeah.
Mhm. And so I just, I'm in the sauna just after um getting
Locked.
fucked with the eucalyptus. So I'm just
Yes.
like invigorated, and anyone outside the sauna can hear the branches. So we know what's going on. I come out, and then I come out into this beautiful silence with the trees, some breeze, and then I tiptoe over to the cold plunge. And here's where an eye glance was exchanged with a woman in the hot tub. And no words are said, but she understands that and I had this like childlike sort of mischievous feeling because I was like, no words. I was like, I'm going in the cold plunge. And she witnessed me get one leg in, take a deep breath and submerge myself. And I could feel her presence holding me.
Right. Such a compassionate space because we all, you know, when you are together with other women and you're naked in all ways,
Mm.
and you share this one human experience of being a human body, um, exposed to all the elements, trying to regulate your nervous system in the modern world, in the nowadays, choosing to do that, choosing to slow down that much. So you're sharing this common experience. It's almost like our hearts, our goodness is multiplied because it's just something very visceral where we feel it's like it's our space. Whatever we put into it, it's for everyone. So of course we better put into this space our best, our best.
Oh, I'm transported, honestly. Talking about this, I'm like, and I think I'm actually experiencing in this moment, if you're intentional about it, the power of the post-retreat afterglow. Like it's a gift to yourself that keeps on giving if you allow yourself.
Yes.
You could very well go on a day retreat. You can go on a whole week retreat. And you can then go back to your home and go back to your old routines.
Mhm.
But if you enter the space knowing that you've opened a portal of sorts and you're doing the magic of recalibrating your senses to the present moment, then you can have moments like this where you tap in and go, oh, wow, you know, and these I call them like glimmers. These glimmers are such powerful moments of memory that create
Mhm.
a physiological response. Like I literally have goosebumps, and I'm just like letting them integrate.
Right, because right now, once you have this experience, when we begin to talk about it, when your perception begins to tap into those memories, these memories, you know, the mind doesn't know, we know this, it doesn't know that it happened sometime. It happens
Mm.
now in you because you're connecting to the experience that lives as a memory in your body. You're literally like teleporting yourself into that state. So it makes perfect sense, you know. Yes, it's just, oh my goodness, you know, we are back there in this spacious, no need to rush. I can trust, I can just claim my entire attention to the self. And this is what I think for me is most incredible gift that I feel that we are giving by these retreats to people. You can, and to myself too. So what you said about being a client, absolutely. Our own client. Yeah, this two hats. Um, that you are allowed to claim all your attention to your well-being, to yourself. And I'm a very, very strong believer in that. If every single person had this permission and focused on doing that, our problems like wars and environment would be solved.
Mm. That's
So yeah.
beautiful. Beautiful. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to reflect on this and honored to reflect on this with you. Um, and well, actually, I'm honored to reflect about this with you and excited for the next time.
Yes,
And
I
this,
was like, we should say that we already planned a retreat for October, November, December, and a very special one for February where you can come as a couple.
yes,
And I'm thinking, and I'm talking to Guy, how maybe we will have people overnight, or maybe we will have something going more toward the evenings so that we can use, you know, the night sky to see the stars. The stars are incredible over here. So that would be amazing to incorporate. Yeah, we'll have to think, you know, what can we do? How can we? But February 14th is going to be very special, and we are going
yeah,
to have four couples. Mm.
yes, I'm so excited. It's going to be really special. And so is October. I'm looking towards that. And I really feel this is just the beginning. So, yeah, thank you for reflecting on this retreat with me.
You're welcome.